Introduction. Since the dawn of time, humanity has been building, dreaming, and striving for greatness. Across the ages, entire civilizations rose from dust, flourished with glory, and vanished into mystery. Their stories are carved in stone, hidden in ruins, and whispered through legends. Each civilization left behind a legacy that continues to shape who we are today. In this journey, we will travel back thousands of years, across continents and oceans, to uncover the wonders, the mysteries, and the secrets of the greatest civilizations that defined human history. Ancient Egypt, the land of eternity. On the banks of the Nile, a mighty civilization was born. Ancient Egypt stood for over 3,000 years, a kingdom of pharaohs, gods, and monumental architecture that defied time itself. The pyramids of Giza rise like eternal sentinels, their sharp edges pointing toward the heavens. To this day, their exact construction remains a subject of fascination and debate. Were they built by sheer human labor, or was there some forgotten knowledge, an ancient genius, that made it possible? Egypt was not just about stone and sand. It was a civilization deeply rooted in spirituality. The pharaohs were seen as gods on earth, rulers who bridged the mortal and the divine. Hieroglyphics covered the walls of temples and tombs, stories carved in sacred symbols, preserving myths, battles, and rituals for eternity. The Book of the Dead revealed their obsession with the afterlife, a world where the soul traveled through trials and was weighed against the feather of truth. From the enigmatic Sphinx, whose gaze has stood unbroken for millennia, to the golden mask of Tutankhamun, Egypt reminds us of humanity's eternal quest for immortality. A civilization that mastered mathematics, medicine, and astronomy, long before the modern world rediscovered them. Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. As we leave the sands of Egypt, we journey east to the Fertile Crescent, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers gave birth to the world's first great civilizations, Sumer, Akkad, Babylon, and Assyria. Here lies Mesopotamia, the land between rivers, often called the cradle of civilization. It was in Sumer that writing was first invented, cuneiform pressed into clay tablets. With this invention, humanity entered the age of history, where memory no longer relied on word of mouth but on symbols that could last forever. Cities like Uruk and Ur were bustling centers of trade, religion, and innovation. The ziggurats, massive temple towers, stretched toward the skies, precursors to the monumental architecture that would inspire generations. The Babylonians brought forth Hammurabi's Code, one of the world's earliest legal systems, carved into stone so that all could see the laws of the land. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Justice, written in enduring rock. Mesopotamia gave us astronomy, mathematics, and the division of time into 60 minutes, 24 hours, a system we still use today. Yet, despite their brilliance, floods, invasions, and time itself swallowed these civilizations, leaving behind broken tablets and crumbling ruins, but also a foundation for all who came after. Ancient Greece, the birthplace of ideas. From the river valleys of Mesopotamia, we now sail across the Mediterranean to the land of myths and philosophy, ancient Greece. Greece was more than a civilization, it was an idea, a spark of human creativity that lit the fire of Western culture. Here, in Athens, democracy was born, the radical notion that ordinary citizens could shape their government. In the academies of philosophers, minds like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle wrestled with questions of existence, justice, and the meaning of life. Their ideas still shape our world today. But Greece was not only about philosophy. It was a land of stories, where gods and heroes lived in myths that continue to inspire movies, art, and literature. Zeus, Athena, Hercules, characters larger than life, blending the divine and the human. And then there was the glory of their architecture, the Parthenon rising proudly on the Acropolis, temples of marble designed with mathematical precision. The Greeks also celebrated the human spirit in the Olympic Games, honoring strength, speed, and unity. Though divided into city-states and often at war, the Greeks left behind more than ruins. They gave us the power of reason, the beauty of art, and the courage to dream beyond the ordinary. Rome, the empire of order and power. As Greece began to fade, a new power rose in the west, Rome. What started as a small city on the banks of the Tiber grew into one of the greatest empires the world had ever known. Rome's armies marched across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, spreading not only power but culture, law, and infrastructure. The Romans were master builders. Roads stretched across continents, aqueducts carried water to bustling cities, and amphitheaters like the Colosseum echoed with the cheers of thousands. Even today, we still walk on Roman roads and marvel at their engineering. But Rome's greatest gift may have been its system of law. Roman law laid the foundation for modern justice, shaping legal principles still in use worldwide. The idea of citizenship, rights, and equality under law came alive in Rome. Yet Rome was not without its shadows. Gladiatorial games, political conspiracies, and the fall into decadence led to its decline. Barbarians stormed its gates, and the eternal city fell. But the legacy of Rome never truly died. It became the bedrock of Europe, of Christianity, and of the very concept of empire. The Maya and the Inca, mysteries of the New World. Across the ocean, in the heart of the Americas, other great civilizations thrived in isolation from the Old World. The Maya built cities deep within the jungles of Central America, places like Tikal and Chichen Itza, where towering pyramids rose above the trees. They were brilliant astronomers, charting the heavens with precision, creating calendars that seemed to predict the very cycles of the cosmos. Their glyphs, carved into stone, tell stories of kings, wars, and rituals. Yet much of their writing remains a puzzle, waiting for scholars to unlock their full history. Farther south, high in the Andes, the Inca Empire rose like a kingdom among the clouds. Machu Picchu, their hidden city, still stuns the world with its breathtaking beauty and engineering. Without wheels or iron, the Inca built vast networks of roads, bridges, and terraced farms that fed millions. But with the arrival of Spanish conquerors, both civilizations fell. Temples burned, treasures melted, and knowledge lost. Still, their spirit survives, in the descendants, in the ruins, and in the mysteries that continue to fascinate us today. Ancient China, the eternal dynasty. Finally, we journey east, to the great civilization of China, a culture that has endured for over 4,000 years, often called the world's longest continuous civilization. China gave the world inventions that transformed history: paper, printing, the compass, and gunpowder. The wisdom of Confucius shaped ethics, family, and society for centuries, while Taoist philosophy taught harmony with nature and balance in life. The Great Wall, stretching thousands of miles, stands as a testament to their determination and unity. The Terracotta Army, guarding the tomb of the first emperor Qin Shi Huang, whispers stories of ambition, immortality, and empire. Dynasties rose and fell, yet China always endured, adapting and reinventing itself. From the Silk Road that connected East and West, to the poetry and art that celebrated beauty and philosophy, China's impact remains woven into the fabric of our modern world. Conclusion: the echo of civilizations. As we look back on these civilizations, Egypt, Mesopotamia, Greece, Rome, the Maya and Inca, and China, we see more than ruins and relics. We see the story of humanity itself. A story of ambition and failure, wisdom and mystery, beauty and tragedy. Though their empires crumbled, their ideas, inventions, and spirit live on within us. Our laws, our science, our art, and even our dreams are built upon their foundations. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall. But their echoes remain eternal. And so, as we stand on the shoulders of giants, we must ask, what legacy will our civilization leave behind for the future?